Will you all join me for the pledge to the flag? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's a mess. Just a full-scale mess. Good evening. Welcome to the school board meeting for the school town of Speedway, August 23rd, 2016. We're working from an agenda with 8 items posted in the back of the room. Start with item number 1 to approve the minutes of August the 9th, 2016. Mr. Smith?
Madam President, I will move that we approve the minutes of August 9th, 2016.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Laura. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from August the 9th. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. We'll sign them.
Yes, you trust your colleagues when they say they're accurate, but you're going to have to too. You just ignore it, or you said just have to move it to next month.
Minutes are signed.
Okay, thank you. Item 2, adopt 2017 capital projects fund.
In late July, you had a presentation regarding the Capital Projects Fund. 2 weeks ago, on August 9th, you conducted a public hearing for input on that fund, and now the recommendation is that you adopt the Capital Projects Fund as advertised.
We have a recommendation. Dr. Reed?
I move that we adopt the 2017 capital projects plan.
Thank you. Laura seconds that. I have a motion and a second to adopt the 2017 capital projects plan. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
You'll want to sign to the left where the I, since it passed unanimously, and Mr. Smith, you'll have to attest, and there are 2 copies, that the 5 board members are in fact the 5 board members. Let me just grab that from you, okay?
I thought I was getting a really cool pin because Adam left it. But the pin looks this thing's no wonder he left it.
He has permission to meet with me on Thursday morning. I'm going to show him the Genius Hour class. Be okay.
Resolution is signed.
Thank you. Item 3, 2017 enrollment report. Oh.
Ms. Bach, share with us a little bit about enrollment.
It's up.
We know.
That's so exciting. So on the back of your blue sheet, I compared it to this day. This is day 16 of school, and I compared it all the way back to 2012, so you can tell our total enrollment is about almost 90 students above where it was last year, and indeed the highest in the last 5 years. So that's pretty exciting. On the front of the sheet with the enrollment numbers, you can see that pretty much we have 5 classes that are at over 6 classes that are over almost to 140 or above. Our freshman class is the largest with 151. Enrollment-wise, our class size, we've kept our K through 4 classes pretty small. In fact, tonight we're hoping that you hire one more first grade teacher so we can divide the class at Allison. So we would have 9 sections of first grade at Allison and 8 in the rest of the primary grades. So our ratios look pretty good over on this side. It kind of shows you overall kindergarten through 6. With the new hire in the first grade, that'll put us a 1 to 17, which is first and second grade are pretty close there, and then third grade 1 to 18. So we try to keep the ratios as low as possible, particularly in the primary grades when they're not quite as independent as they are once they get reading and knowing their math. But the junior high is up, the high school is up. Actually, every one of our schools is up. Allison is highest. They've increased 32 compared to this day last year, and the high school is increased as well. So the junior high's got about 16 more students than last year. So overall, we still have room for more students, but if you're out there, come as soon as you can, because every day counts.
And I know I didn't count, Dave, but you said a minute ago, is this the largest we've been since 2000?
Definitely the largest we've been since 2000. Actually, it looks like we're rivaling numbers when the school corporation was at its largest back in the 1970s. And at one point, the school corporation got to near 2,000 students, but we're within 90% of that.
Any other comments on that? Thank you. Thank you, Patty. Item 4, renew the property damage and professional liability insurance coverage.
And the recommendation would be that you would renew. Last year, we had a special rider regarding terrorism and how if that happened, how we would have some special coverage. Our insurance premium in 2016 was $131,917. This year, the recommended renewal is $132,379. That's a very pleasant surprise, given the fact that it was at this time last year we were dealing with the fallout of major storms and losses, as well as the eventual replacement of light poles because they had been damaged. So this is a very low quote. I would ask the board to consider, in addition to this $132,000, for an additional, and I have to check my notes here, $50. We can also pick up what's called fiduciary insurance on you all as board members, so that if we ever make a conscious fiduciary mistake, you're not liable for the error we might make. And so the total premium would be $132,429. That's an increase in less than 1%. So my recommendation is you adopt this with the fiduciary coverage.
Laura?
I move that we adopt this proposed premium with the fiduciary coverage.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Luke. We have a motion and a second to renew the property damage and professional liability with the fiduciary. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. President, on item 5, we are making progress on these two policies. They are not ready to be presented, and so I'd ask you simply hold those over until the next meeting, and we will present them at that time. And perhaps if we get them out early enough, we can even have them in pretty close to final form.
Very good. Okay, thank you. No problem. Item 6, employment recommendations after that.
And I'll ask Ms. Bach again if she would tell us about our recommendations.
Sure. We're recommending for first grade elementary teacher, so hiring as an elementary teacher, Jessie Lyles Broadstreet. She has a Bachelor of Science from Ball State University and is licensed in elementary education. Out of school, she went to teach at Paramount School and has been teaching there, but would like to be in public school. And we interviewed her and we're very impressed. She had also been a teacher at the Indiana Math and Science Academy, so we think she has a lot to add as a teacher for us. Also, for extra duty assignments, Ryan K. Buster as the 9th grade football coach. This is a position vacated by Nick Beard. He's familiar with our students and excited to be part of the coaching staff. And then Samuel Aherns for junior high football assistant coach volunteer.
And then we have one custodial recommendation, Miss Valerie Cox.
She's been a substitute custodian for us, and we need the additional staff, so we're recommending, she's done well as substitute for us, so we're recommending that she come aboard as a regular custodian.
Luke?
I move that we approve the employment recommendations of Jesse Lyles Broadstreet, Ryan Buster, Samuel Ahrens, and Valerie Cox.
I'll second it.
Tom? We have a motion and a second to approve the employment recommendations. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 7 is the recognition of visitors and other business. We recognize visitors and other business. I think we have a couple of things you'd like to...
Well, if you'll entertain other business, just yesterday, we got actually with a memorandum of understanding, a continuing agreement between Zionsville schools and Speedway schools to share a teacher for hearing impaired. There are no changes in the agreement. We pay a percentage of the whatever number of students we have as a percentage of the total cost, and I'd recommend that you renew this agreement with Zionsville schools.
Luke?
I move that we approve the renewal of the MOU with Zionsville.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll
Thank you, Tom. We have a motion and a second to approve the memorandum of understanding with Zionsville. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. And under other...
Other businesses is you have, as a board, completed the evaluation of the superintendent. It hardly seems right that I would recommend you would adopt this evaluation, but I will put it up for your consideration, and if you're inclined to adopt it, I will set up 2 pages and we'll pass those around to sign.
What's the board's pleasure on the superintendent's evaluation? Dr. Reedy?
I move that we adopt the superintendent evaluation.
Thank you. Laura? We have a motion and a second. Just before we vote, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Reed for organizing the data that we all presented to him and putting this together. I know that was lots of time that he put in for that, so we appreciate that. Is there any other discussion about the evaluation?
I would just also say that, the last time we went through this process, we as a board asked the superintendent to, just make available to us additional information and more data and that is only something that only takes time. And any time that we, ask the superintendent or really any of the faculty to undertake activity that takes away from the day-to-day running of things around here, we're careful to do that. And so that was an important thing. And we just really appreciate the type of information and when you got things to us, and it really made it just added meat to the whole process and made it more substantive, and that can only be a great thing. So
It also caused to take time to reflect and think about it, and so it was definitely a worthwhile process, and I have a new notebook started.
Yes, thank you, Ken. Is there any other discussion? We'll call for the vote then. All those in favor of motion carries 5-0.
It's not a 3-2.
No.
Now, if this is not other business, and it's entirely appropriate that Speedway Cable TV is here because they many times have helped share some of the information. We have a new alumni profile, and we'd like to share that with the board, and I want to assure you that we'll get a copy of that to you because I know it's much easier when we give it to you in data form on a stick. But while we're getting, as you're signing, and you all have seen the introduction, so you probably, it's the same one as always. But maybe we can get that started. Perhaps?
Maybe we can't.
Is the little cursor on there somewhere?
There it is. I think there are some members of sport who weren't even born when this person graduated. Young.
Dick Canada graduated from Speedway High School in 1963. His titles tell the story of a career that unites business and academia. From sales for corporate giants like Procter & Gamble to manager of international training development at Xerox. From author to award-winning professor at Indiana University Kelley School of Business and founder of its Center for Global Sales Leadership. And yet, nearly 50 years later, Speedway's impact remains clear.
The top performers are out there asking problem questions, and they're uncovering implied needs.
Teachers like Dale Weller were role models, inspiring him to teach just for the intrinsic rewards.
I'd like to say that it'll make you well known, and it doesn't. That there's a lot of money in it, and there isn't. So you say, why do you do it? And I think it's for the personal satisfaction of impacting people. If I have 115 students a semester, and I've impacted a few of their lives for the next 5, 10, who knows, 30, 40 years, like Dale Weller impacted mine, then I feel a personal satisfaction from it. I don't want to see him gazing off. I place the responsibility on myself for not making it as entertaining and enjoyable as like a Dale Weller did at Speedway.
How many would like to have fun with me? Who would like to have fun with me? Really? Okay. You know what I...
Speedway's powerhouse of teachers shaped the trajectory of Dick Canada's extraordinary career.
The quality of the teacher was just simply outstanding in the sense that they used a lot of the Socratic method. And as a result, we got used to thinking.
Speedway was ranked in the top 3 in Indiana. And for him, 2 teachers epitomized that excellence.
Grace Hines is probably the stereotype stern taskmaster in the classroom. She was very focused upon the language we used, the grammar we used. Dale Weller was a legend even when I was there in terms of teaching government. And I believe that being a professor at the Kelley School of Business at University, that whatever success I've had has been a result of trying to emulate what his approach was in terms of taking the educational points and anchoring in with stories that the students will remember almost as memory tags.
Let me put it in a context every day you can relate to.
I think it was almost brilliant on his part. And I recognize that's very difficult to do. He made it look easy, but it's very difficult.
Recognized as a leader in improving sales force performance, Professor Canada has written articles and books, including the internationally successful The 24 Sales Traps and How to Avoid Them. His latest pulls from the value system Speedway instilled in him. The value of failure, of laughing at yourself, of taking ownership, and of being able to articulate thoughts.
One of the values was the ability to be able to laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously, recognizing that yes, you're important to yourself, but there's another entire world out there. And, you know, to try to help that world as much as you can, I think the teachers set that up. If you're not willing to get outside your comfort zone, you're probably not going to develop and improve the way that you should. Speedway was always accepting of failing in the sense that it was required in order to be successful.
Overall, a good start, but we tend to move more into getting information versus seeking it.
Back in the 1960s, Dick Canada played baseball, basketball, football, and wrestling.
For us, sports was simply fun. It was competitive. It was a way of representing the school.
And that competitive spirit piece, that scorecard, helped him shine in business and sales.
You either won or you lost. And I liked the idea of being responsible for my performance. And that was one of the values that Speedway tended to ingrain, you know, and is that ownership piece. And those were the values that Speedway had instilled in me. But I thought I had learned along the way, but in fact, they were just reinforced along the way, but learned at Speedway.
For all his achievements, Dick Canada is a humble man. Speedway's impact on his life and career has been immeasurable, he says. A gift.
It absolutely was a gift in the sense that we were very, very fortunate. And as a result, it had such a major impact on who we are today.